They have gone through similar things and failed. There are some who have gone through similar things. They failed several times until they got it right.
Well, everyone trusted whatever came out from people from.
Hello and welcome to The Flame of Fortune, ladies and gentlemen, a show where we ignite minds with insights and inspiration. I'm your host, Jasper Perry, and today we're having a very interesting guest, an official guest that you are going to enjoy for a very long time. You will enjoy the presence of this man. This is Mr. Chikondi Banda. We are doing this venture, and this is not an instant here are the answers type of thing, or one of those get rich quick schemes. We're trying to create a community and an environment where people share the reality of life, how you are facing it on your end and how it's happening on ours. Because at the end of the day, we spark a conversation and then we share information, and then, we just hope to supply you the value that you actually deserve and that you come here to collect. Because overall, the Flame of Fortune, as we have begun here, we have got direction. That is all that is there. So tune into the video and enjoy. Please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and please, most of all, comment. We need those comments. At this point, our conversation is an open-ended conversation.
Yeah, it's like fluid. It's fluid.
I want to hear properly, like the day when I came to you.
Yep.
Oh, actually, when we met at Mapalets.
Oh, we met at Pallets.
Then I mentioned to say I want to do a podcast, right?
Yeah.
I could see a spark that I, sort of ignited there, where when I mentioned it, I have mentioned the idea of doing a podcast and everything to several people, but the way you and I had a conversation was more... It was unexpected, I shouldn't lie. Like, I didn't think a person the way you and I were casually, people who would just meet in random places, and then out of the blue, I tell you about this idea, and you do like the extraordinary to like keep my mind focused on actually putting it down to say, I say, whatever you want to do, it's a long road, but it's doable, right?
Yeah.
So could you tell me what exactly it was that caught your attention when I said this?
Like, personally for me, I'm a developer in a natural way, where if an idea is presented and if it makes sense, I would attempt to say, okay, fine, let's see how we can make this work. So for somebody that sits on, like, that relies heavily on thought and process. Mm-hmm. So I've seen like podcasts, like, there are like maybe 1,000, 1 million podcasts, so many, running Japan, China, whatnot, different topics and whatnot. But for Malawi, yes, we have our own. But my angle is not podcast, because podcast is like, it's a basis.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Of what something could take off within the media space. Mm-hmm. So I would say it's something like like the easy way out for people to. I'll use the word voice out.
Mm-hmm. In a way, communicate.
Yeah, no. Voice out. Because communication hasn't been like the basis for like podcasts in Malawi. If we like to go like deep, if we like to look at it in a contextual way, to say, fine, this is a podcast, and it's really like hitting where it's supposed to
the sort of impact it's looking to do.
We had zero, because the main focus has been on, like, from the ones that I've seen, so it's like music. Yeah, pretty much music.
Yeah, they're pretty much around entertainment,
and whatnot. And then nobody has like gone into like the serious stuff, like
the real life experience.
Yeah, real life experience. Could be across different platforms. Platforms, topics, whatever it is, could be health, what. So we have the obvious health, finance, and all of that stuff. But then now the way life works is you have to look at like the reality of things, because life on its own, the things that drive life, which would be the finance, the healthcare, the what, and then there's lifestyle. Lifestyle, which is like big.
Yes.
Within the podcast space. So in my own analysis, the way I look at how like podcasts have been presented like across, is like we're presenting content that's already been
that's already
pre-scripted. Like now you come and say, okay,
we're just repeating.
Fine, we're just repeating what everyone else is doing. You understand?
True.
Yeah. So my idea was like, okay, fine, let's come up with something like raw, like where we're pushing everything from.
As the day goes by,
as the day goes by, like life experience and all of that across everything, to say, good, okay, fine, let's just make life make sense for a minute. Second would be would it's not enough space for somebody to like understand, to say, okay, what are these people like talking about? Yeah, within whatever context that we're pushing our content, but as an individual. Yeah. So, okay, like for me, I'd say every human being is intelligent in their own format.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. True. So if they're like taught like properly, yeah.
How to milk the cow.
Like how to milk the cow. You have milk at the end of the day. So it's how it's how we present like our ideas. Could be ideas, could be thought. So I have to respect thought.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So thought, how we present it.
Be able to recognize imagination for what it is.
Yeah. So what would come out of that? Yeah. So it's same as art. An artist can paint a picture and not appreciate it, but then there will be somebody who says, oh, okay, fine, this guy spent so many hours on these brush strokes, and then gives value to that. So same thing with content. If it's something that's coming from like experience, the expectation is somebody's going to learn at the end of the day to say, okay, fine, this guy experiences. So it's how you impact people.
The overall community.
The overall community could be, okay, we're not gonna say mass, because I'm sure access to such things is not for everyone. Yeah.
And
so even when we like pushing to say, okay, fine. Okay, so we'll say we don't have a podcast yet, but whatever it is that we're going to push, yeah, we want people to like resonate with whatever it is that we're pushing. So we're not going to stick to like a single subject.
It's an open-ended
it's an open-ended situation.
The general population can relate to what we are trying to get. Because, I mean, okay, for like the past few months, right, I've been creating some content around this platform. And as I was doing this, I mean, I was creating rapport and I was meeting people, talking to them about it, trying to maybe spark an idea to say, what are they thinking about this and all that, right? So there was people who would ask me to say, okay, you sound like every other
podcast.
You sound like every other guy who is trying to do motivational speech. Then I would say, no, slow down, yeah? Because I don't want people coming in, motivational. Okay, when do we start to make the money? You know? Because, you know, a lot of people, there's these people who have come to me with the idea, this is a platform for the white collar with the tie, you know? So they were afraid to even come and have a conversation with me because they thought, like, okay, we've seen you, we've heard a podcast and everything, we've seen a few posts here and there, but it seems like you want to do this Amazan to Amatai. And looking also at my daily job, they are already associating all of that together to say, you know, so now I'm trying to explain to them to say, basically, Pandeka, the first drive to the passion comes in to say kuti there were certain angles of my personal life okuti ndimaona kuti amandivuta komano ndikakhala pandekha zimandivuta kupanga chani realize understand kuti kodi apa tipanga manuva bwanji. Then I started talking to people only to find out kuti first and foremost sine ndekha amene zinthu zija ndikuzionayi pala anthu ena ako kuti so they have gone through similar things and failed. There are some who have gone through similar things, they failed several times until they got it right.
Yeah, correct.
In their own way. But there is no such thing as kuti there's a blueprint in yako yokuti wina akangabwere kuzanira amwene moyo for you to maneuver life.
You should do it like this.
It's never. Komano out of my experience tija and we are able to create an image to say kuti ineyo ngati ndikufuna zakuti zanga zitheke nditati I should align myself more with these habits. These behaviors. Umakazipanga position kunena kuti ineyo ndikusaka ntchito kaya kusaka ntchito ya chani ndiye ndiyambe kucheza ndi awo chifukwa chokuti awo amaziwana ndi anthu okuti amabwere amakhala ndi izi. That's like an example of being resourceful. To just have the drive to say okay, I want something, how am I gonna get it? So then coming to you, you and I have had numerous conversations about so much.
We see it, we chat, we agree.
And there comes a point where I don't even know where our conversation is going. But at the end of the day,
okay. So for me, I don't know. Okay, so everyone has a weak point. Okay, I wouldn't call myself as somebody who talks too much. Because like for me, if I put something out, then it has to make sense. Because not that I like talk to like get like validation over what I say, but what I say comes from like
deep down
here. So fine, I'm putting out this. Yes, I also want to be questioned.
If you come back to me and quote me tomorrow, I
have to say, okay, fine, I said this, so like I don't get that a lot. So so I have the confidence to like just speak and
not be spoken
and not being spoken to. But feedback is good. I wouldn't call myself the best because like nobody knows me.
Well, of course,
unless people know me. But from experience, like I chat with a lot of people, like across like different. So politics, business, what. So the only thing that I haven't gotten is like that negative response. So, hey, guy, nah, here you're wrong. So, okay, I also haven't like put myself in a situation where I'm saying, okay, fine. So no one is saying, Kudi, whatever I say is wrong. Then I start feeling myself say, okay, fine. Me, I'm like the.
I know better.
No. So me, I'm also in that space where I'm learning. But the people that I talk to, high level, what, they would come, they trust the conversation that we're having. Because for me, I'm also learning. But what I've learned to also understand is the culture. Okay, the culture around, would say people that are like doing, would say they're doing well. They come in and then they start pretending to say, okay, fine. So since we're in this bracket, then everything else comes as standard.
They sort of set a general standard for the general population when theirs is also...
No. So you look at us like this.
This is how we do
This
things.
is how we do things. You look at us like this.
So okay, before getting to this level of thought, before getting to the point of having talked to so many people, gathering so much information, when we go backwards, Sobano, to say, how did this Chiko become this Chiko?
This one.
Where was the turning point where...
Okay, so
I mean, there probably was a child in you at a certain point.
No. There's always been a child in me. So growing up, I come from a very, very big family. From my mother's side, like the family, like you have like 8 aunties, 7 uncles. Okay, the families are big. Like they're big. So like growing up, okay, like our grandfather was was like a family man proper. He had his own issues, but as a family man, he made sure that
you knew each other.
Yeah, we knew each other and all of that. Made sure that even on the weekend, like you go to his house.
He was a very typical family man.
Typical family man. Never forgot a birthday. Never forgot all the important dates and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then this thing of like discipline was like on point. Yeah, simple example, when you're dining, so there's like a posture that you need to maintain. If you're eating sima, so this hand had to be like here, and then until you finish your sima, then you're done. If you're eating rice and whatever it is that you have to cut,
you've got your fork and knife and everything.
Everything is done. So cook, typical
proper order.
Yeah, proper order. So I grew up in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I also had a space where now, like, free range.
Where now you're the rebel. You're the rebel you are.
You're the rebel you are. So we've done all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol, whatever you call it. I've never done drugs. That I've never touched. I've never touched. Background. So, like, I grew up in a proper space where, like, discipline was
key
to say, okay, we do all things like this. Yeah,
you button up.
You
Make
sure you don't fold you. Things like those. So now, okay. So as a person, so okay, you go through education. Yeah. So I went to boarding school when I was in like standard 3.
Where was this?
Malamulo. In Cholo.
Yes.
So standard 3.
Boarding school.
I was in boarding school. No, it's proper. Like the diet was like.
Yeah, well, of course. I'm just thinking of standard 3. How old are you in standard 3?
No. I was a kid, but then I was taken care of like properly.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandfather's the one who decided to say, no, this one send him.
Yeah.
So I went there. Yeah, and we were always like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to boarding school when I was in standard 3. Then I learned life there. In standard 4, I was washing my own clothes. Yeah. Standard 5, I was able to be dropped. We were being dropped at this place called Number 1 in Cholo. And we'd get on either a pickup. There were no buses then. On a pickup, and then we're dropped. I don't know how many Ks now to get to where we used to go. Standard 5. Standard 6, I was able to get back into Blantyre on my own.
So from school,
No, I was small boy. And then standard 7, I said, hey, nah, this is not for me. So then the school that we were going to, so they had opened another school in Sochi, like just down the road. And I said, I'm going to do my 7 and my 8 there. And I came out of boarding school, and then I went to do my 8 and my 7 and my 8 in town. Same school, just different campuses, like the way you do it now. Then I did that there. So for me is, okay, now being tough, like I learned when I went to this, because I was a small boy. Scared, whatnot, but we were there. And the others, it wasn't just me.
Yes.
So we had a class of how many people? I remember standard 3, standard 3, we were like 54. And then we had our friends, like they came from South Africa, like Kenya, to come do school. Boarding school. They
primary school.
3. No, but then we had like guys that like took care of us. Like they made sure that
everything was catered for properly.
Everything was good.
But at the end of the day, you are away from home.
No, we are away from home. But you're young, you're there. So 4, 5, 6, you were like proper, like mature. Now
you can go about your life.
Okay, no, the space made you mature.
Oh yes, I mean I can only imagine because for me I went to boarding school at standard 7.
I went in standard 3.
So at standard 3, I'm looking at how little I was when I was going at standard 7, and then standard 3, like that. You must learn a lot.
There's even a record there with all names there on this thing that every time that you go there as a young person, you go put like your name on this like concrete thing. So the names there, they're still there. So you go there, you find my name. See, I went there in standard 3, and then I've got others.
Okay, so now you've gone through primary and then secondary was
Now I went to Delta.
later.
Yeah,
Marist.
there, no. No, Delta was hard. Yeah, it was hard. It's called Umbe.
Umbwe.
Yeah, Umbe. It's on the road, like it's on the highway. Like it's on the M1. So the time that I went there, no, I was young. So I went there form 2. So you know T's, yeah? So in form 2 you go there. So I told my parents that, hey, you know what, I can't go when the term is just starting. So I went there second term. No, third term actually. Like the last week, the last 2 weeks of the last term. That's when I went. So
Why? Why
so
the last 2 weeks?
so
I'm curious.
so I had a cousin who was going to the same school. So the plan was, could I get there last 2 weeks of the of the third term, so that like people can see me, so that when I come in the next term, like now form 3, yeah. So everyone says, no, he's
He's already been here.
he's already been here. So that was the tactic. So I went. Of course, I got beat up a bit. But when I came back, I had to make sure that everyone knows that I was like there already. So I didn't get the torture,
stranger treatment.
the stranger treatment that everyone was getting if they were when they were new, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, fun times. But so we were like two guys from Blantyre at that time. I've got a friend, his name is Fred. So it's just the two of us. So at that time, schools used to like beat each other over everything. Soccer and all of that stuff. Yeah, so my takeout from my experience in secondary school was that everyone trusted whatever came out from people from Blantyre.
Okay, when the Blantyre guys
speak, and then
listen.
they will listen.
Okay.
So okay, fine. So now I've got a football match. So how's it going to go? Chan. I was like, no, Blantyre. My Blantyre. So we used to go there. So I was gonna go, and so all the strikes, all the riots, and all. So we used to be like in the background of like organizing
the whole situation.
And then and then when things go bad, so obviously they'll call you, like you go to the admin block and whatnot, just to like say, okay, fine. So we had this situation, people were beaten up, Chan school property was broken and whatnot. So they call the people that okay, ringleaders, ne? So they'll call people. So the ones that look actually bad. So this one. Then I'll be there now with an innocent face. I was like, no, this guy, nah, you go.
Let him pass. He's okay.
Nah, he's okay.
He can't. He couldn't.
So I used to get away with like pretty much a lot. Yeah. So there's a lot that happened in high school. Like experience wise, like I also got like toughened up like properly, like during high school.
And also, I feel like it builds character because it
did.
I look at the way I was at Kapuga for 1 year.
Yeah.
And guys, I got my fair share of Kapuga. In 1 year, I was like, okay, you know what, guys? I say, like, unless it is unnecessary.
People used to beat each other. If you're new, so now we have to manage like new people based on locations. Like, okay, fine. So if you're from Lilongwe, you're going to be managed by these guys from Lilongwe. If you're from Blantyre, but we still had to let you get a few slaps before you get into the thing, just for you to
toughen up,
to experience the dance.
Get thick skin.
No, like toughen up your skin a bit. But for us, it was like simple. So when you get to the room, and so they'll call like 2 guys from Blantyre, and then people within, like clubs and whatnot. So obviously, when you go through the admin, so they'll ask you which clubs do you want, because we're big when it came to football. Sport. So we had football. Yeah, football was like big. I think that was the biggest. So we had chess, we had French, and a few other things. So you be taken into the room and then we'll ask you, okay, so during your interview and whatnot, so which
clubs do you
which clubs do you want? So obviously you said football. It's like, oh, hey, now this is ours.
If you say something else.
Okay. So chess. So there was chess. Chess was like the guy that took French. They were like very big in chess. So they did chess. They did other weird French things that they wanted to do. But if it was like football, so everyone was excited. And when you say football and say you're good, the next day you're like on the pitch. You have to prove. It's like, hey, you actually play
immediately.
Yeah. So anybody that came and said, "I know I play football," so football is your gateway to like freedoms. So I was like, let's see. Put in an intense game, go play and do all of that stuff. Okay, the events that would like push somebody to just not become, or to just like think better, or have the patience to like understand how things work like naturally. Yeah.
Okay.
Because for me, what I say is, not everything is like taught in class.
Oh yes, no.
Yeah.
You can't learn everything in class, and if you wait for that, then
no, it doesn't sit. If you look at life like great, yeah. I've learned out of situations, not like I've learned from like people.
From the book or something.
No.
By living through things as they happen.
Living through things and just understand. Say, okay, fine. If I won here, I won because I did this. If I lost here, I lost because I did this. If I failed here, I failed because I did this.
Okay, so basically you got together the idea of, first and foremost, that integrity, that self-integrity. To be able to be sincere with yourself, to say, the reason why that loss came about was because I was short here, and had it been that I applied myself in this area appropriately, much as there are certain failures that will come, and there will be certain losses that weren't necessarily your fault.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you are still able to own up to say, I'm still the one who lost.
True.
Okay, so now you've gotten into, let's say, I feel like there's a lot of confusion that happens process when you're coming from college, when you're coming from high school to college. There's that idea of ndagula, I'm grown. And then from college, coming out this side, I feel like there's this excitement. I don't know if it was there your time or prior to this, but Panobo, I've felt this excitement of tafika non tawni titamange, and in the way life is right now, I mean, so many dynamics have modernized it.
Yeah, correct.
And the way we think, or the way antu amaganizira, like midala to our fathers, our uncles and everything, there's a certain principle that is short antu ochepa. I mean, ama invesesa principle to the extent where we start to victimize ourselves, jangu timavuto tinalakete kangubwera, like that step of life where, I'll give you an example. Me coming from college, I thought when I come out of college, I'll write an application letter. They'll take me for a nice job. I'll collect some good money, some good capital. I will start my business, and then my business will boom. I will resign from the job. Then I will push on my business and climb all the way. Only to be disappointed by step number 1, where you're done with school, then get a job or find value for yourself, right? The mentality I had when I was just coming out of college was that energy, I want to do something on my own, right? Komano, what I didn't calculate on was yes, you want to pursue your life the way you want it, but what have you set as the foundation for where you're going to start up from kumapitiliza? Wait, I want to know your end to say kuti pofika pokuti iweyo kumathawa to walk up to people ndikuwalongosolera nkhani anthu aja ndikukumva iweyo ndikunyamuka amene pajapa with a win.
Okay, so I'll push myself back to when I had finished high school. Yeah. So when I'd finished high school, yeah. So I would say this like, and I didn't come out like top to say I go into like straight into secondary school. Yeah. So I had options like MCA was like your option based on whatever it is that
you want to pursue.
Yeah. What you wanted to pursue and what you got. Like from
high school.
Yeah, from high school and whatnot. So MCA was like the option. So I went to MCA. Yeah. But pushing myself back like 2 years prior. So you'd sit with people. Okay, so these are like older guys who would sit and say, I think there was a frenzy that just came up where people like were reading like books like crazy.
Yes.
At some point. So I got caught up in that situation where you're waiting for your result, and then there's a 100-page book that you had to read. So I got myself into books at that time. I was young. I didn't even understand what I was reading, but I would pick.
What were your like specific, like your preferred?
War, people killing each other, and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Like anything conspiracy, what. That's what I read. I read everything because I was like, okay, fine, everyone's reading. So this is what used to happen. So these guys would come like around 5. They would sit somewhere and just discuss books. Yeah, so you'd have like 6 guys that read the same book, and they're just showing off, saying, "Oh, this guy did this." So I had a phase where I read like a lot, and then I even went out and bought my own books, which these guys even stole from me because I had not read some of the books. So I would say like a bit of like where I was like conditioned to like understand certain things was that period. It was like a year
period of the
reading, where I read like whatever it is, your Jason Bournes, your what, even when all of that stuff. So I read. Then I got tired of reading books. And then I started listening to music. Then like music just took off. But whatever I read that time, still here.
Oh yes, I mean for a read. Nanji,
the
way you read like
it's
that.
Still here. So, but I read a lot in a short while, like maybe 2-3 years. That was constant. Could like how many book you want to go on to the next one? How many book you want to go buy another one? You want to find another one? Even you start reading things that are not within you.
Controversial, some controversial stuff as well.
Even people started giving you books. No, you should read
Try this out.
You should also read this. Because there's too much. It's like, okay. Like the whole day. I was like, read. So I had that phase where I just like read a lot. Then I stopped reading. Then I went to school. So when I went to school, it was like, okay, fine now. So I'm here at university, MCA. So I went for an accounting course. Same ACC. But I was a critic. Like I felt like these people were like wasting my time. Yeah, they were wasting my time. They were wasting my time.
This was the time of Pike.
No. Same ACC. They were wasting my time. But I was working at that time.
Where were you working?
No. Okay, so I would say at home, but then there was a business.
Okay,
like,
so you
like
were managing something.
like proper professional. I wasn't even managing. I was under somebody. Yeah, who would send me to even go buy his food. Yeah. So yeah, I started working, and then started understanding business and whatnot and all of that stuff. But I still kept on reading. But now it was like filtered.
It wasn't as intense as it was.
No.
And so this was for you as a reading. Was it a reading passion, or were you looking for a certain type of information? You just wanted to consume.
No. I was just consuming, like fucking,
okay, that's an interesting one.
Fucking consuming whatever it is that made sense at the particular time. Yeah, and then the other thing is, since I had so background of this reading part, and so when I read, I like picked a character within the content that I was like consuming at that particular time. So I tried to be this guy,
that guy.
You get.
So you try to fit the character.
Yeah, so fit the character. So if it's somebody that kills people, I'm gonna kill people and whatnot. Yeah, but then I structure my things within that character.